So quant firms can be broken down into three major groups. There's the high frequency traders. The high frequency traders, they trade with their money. And these are the groups we're focusing on. And because of they are using their money and not clients' money, they are allowed to show their long position, but they're not allowed to show their short position. They have hedge funds, right? Hedge funds usually use statistic arbitration as their strategy. So, for instance, if they buy the stock of Coca Cola, they look at Coca Cola trend in comparison to Pepsi. And if for some reason Pepsi starts to trade downwards because of the two companies are in the same industry, they get to sell their Coca Cola position and buy Pepsi because they know eventually Pepsi will get back to the price, right? There's a correlation in the move of the price of Coca Cola and Pepsi. So that's kind of the strategy of hedge funds. And then we have the banking divisions, right? Most of the banking divisions, they kind of work with a long run strategy, right? Because the stock market in the long run, it goes up. So they have their trades, they keep it in the market and it stays as it is. So talking about Nigeria, while doing my research, it was fundamental that I didn't find even one single quant firm trading in Nigeria. Most of the quant firms that trade in the stock or in the crypto, focusing on crypto in this conversation, are all based in the United States, right? The big players, Citadel, Jane Street, and Jump Trader, big three, making a lot of profits, very good at what they do. In Europe, they have XTX markets, and in Asia, they have the grasshoppers, Singapore to be precise. And in Africa as a whole, the two I could find were based in South Africa. So Nigeria has zero representation of a quant firm, but Nigeria is among the top 5 countries in the world that actually use cryptocurrencies for transaction. And 80% of the traders in Nigeria trade between $100 and $10,000. So who does this hurt? The temp phenomenon, the quant algorithm, the artificial glitch in the system, or the artificial movement of up and down of the cryptocurrency. Yes, it hurts everyone in the market holistically, but in America, most people trade in crypto or in the stock market as a luxury or as a future withdrawal, maybe in times of hardship, very, very slim, but mostly for when they retire. So most people start investing in the stock market within the age of 20 on average. And their hope is by the time they're 67 at retirement or 70, their positions would have appreciated and they would have made a whole lot of money. But in Nigeria, the story is different. Because of the economy, the inflation, and the hardship, a lot of people trade as a lifeline. Like this is their day job. This is how they hope to turn the tide. And if you're trading with 100 to 10,000 US dollars, that's not enough money to change the tide. And that takes them to leverage, right? We spoke about leverage in the beginning. So expanding on the leverage, that takes them to leverage. That makes them loan money to trade. Because the more money you can loan, the more profits you can make. And that might change the story. But on the flip side, when firms use small traders as liquidity, as a way to grab their money or as a way to create artificial glitches that the small traders are unable to react to on time, this causes a major problem. So the evidence suggests three things. Playing in the field is not a level game, right? So people in Nigeria, they're using their phones, they're using their laptop, fast, super, but nothing compared to satellite quant computers, algorithms trading. The leverage by the traders are so large that it wipes them out and put them at a worse position. And on the flip side, countries like India and China have regulated quant firms or even suspended quant firms in their country from trading because India and China have a lot of individual small traders like Nigeria. And their regulating bodies looked at it. In India, the SEBI, in China, they looked at it and they stopped the quant firms from such practices, saying that that is not fair trading. They are outbidding the average Joe and trying to monopolize the market. And once a particular firm is able to monopolize the market, once a particular firm is able to have enough buy power to swing, to increase or decrease the price, then it's not a fair game. That actually bumps people out. So what Nigeria needs to do moving forward? Start quant firms. Or if nobody wants to start quant firms, all the small traders can collaborate together or unite and start one quant firm, right? There's power in numbers. And the goal is not to be an easy layup for the bigger quant firms outside of Nigeria so that you can have a little power to trade. So what do we do next?